Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome back to our Five Nights at Freddy's character concept series. So in today's video, the character looking into is Barkley the Canine Clown. So we'll go into this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well, but before doing any of that, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe to GamerTube as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, we'd just like to say a little disclaimer that this story is not linked to the overall universe and lore of FNAF or Secret of the Mimic. This is just a fan-made story, so keep that in mind and enjoy the video. But alrighty, with that all out of the way, let's get into the character concept of Barkley the Clown. So previously in our Five Nights at Freddy's character concept series, we've been looking into the strange events that have been taking place at the animatronic factory. Our factory worker protagonist has had a few dangerous interactions with the mascots that reside here. So far they've met the Elephant, the Balloon Buddies, and Opal the Octojester. Each of these terrible mascot characters have tried to harm them in one way or another, but each and every time they've managed to get away unscathed. The worker is starting to think that every single mascot in this factory has it out for them. If only there was a character that was actually friendly and didn't want to harm them, it would be a very welcome change from everything that's been happening. Well, it might just be the worker's lucky day, because they may meet a character who is the complete opposite of all these horrible animatronics. But as to if that will be the case, we'll just have to wait and see. Speaking of this supposedly friendly mascot, let's meet them now. So the next character we're introducing is Barkley the Clown. Hence the name, Barkley is a dog clown character. He's quite the friendly looking clown and his personality matches up as well. Barkley is always in a happy and friendly mood. His design and appearance was also reflective of this mood as well. His bright green and yellow colour scheme with his big red shoes made him very approachable. Everyone at the factory loved giving Barkley a big hug and petting him on the head. As far as everyone was concerned, he was definitely a good boy. He'd always be there to brighten up everyone's day and make them happy. When he wasn't making people smile, he was doing a very special job at the factory. And this job was tennis ball management. It was Barkley's job to make sure that this tennis ball on a rope was always swinging. It was an incredibly important job and extremely vital to the factory's overall operation. Now obviously, this was of course a fake job. The workers only made Barkley do this to keep him busy throughout the day. He's tried helping before, but he would get distracted way too easily. Most of the time, he would just get in the way and cause delays. So the tennis ball management was the pretend job they assigned him. Barkley was happy to be involved and never complained. Everyone was quite fond of his happy attitude, and eventually he would prove to everyone that he was much more than a happy face. So on that day, everything was running along as usual. The endos were being built, the toys were being painted, and Barkley was chasing his tennis ball. But later on in the day, an unforeseen accident would occur. When stacking one of the shelves, it gave way and collapsed. But luckily, at the last second, Barkley was there to catch the falling debris. He saved one of the factory workers from being crushed by the collapsing shelf. But unfortunately, Barkley sustained quite a bit of damage from catching all the rubble. But in the end, he was just happy that this worker was safe. It didn't matter if his body was a little roughed up. At least he did a good thing and was still a good boy. The factory planned to have him fixed up and repaired soon. An animatronic like Barkley was quite rare to come by, so they thought fixing him would be the best option. Unfortunately, he would have to stay in the storage room where it was safe. But he didn't mind, because he had his trusty tennis ball with him to keep him busy. But little did Barkley know, he would become a hero once again. He'd be saving the late night factory worker from certain danger without even realising it. So night after night, the factory worker has to endure the attacks from the withered animatronics. It seems like each night they're getting more and more difficult to avoid. The Elephant was being more aggressive than ever, the Balloon Buddies would run around and appear more frequently, and Opal would stop at nothing to cram them into the conveyor belt machine. If anything else would try to attack them, they weren't sure if they were going to make it out alive this time. But fortunately, an unlikely hero would come to their rescue. So one night, as they were preparing to shut down the factory for the day, the worker didn't realise the Elephant was right behind them. Just before the Elephant could grab them, a stray tennis ball flew right past. Moments later, Barkley rushed over and charged into the Elephant. He knocked him out of the way, and this gave the worker a short moment to escape. It seems like Barkley had knocked his tennis ball off its rope, and he had to chase after it. This interaction gave the worker an idea. Maybe they could use Barkley and his tennis ball to their advantage. So now let's get into the gameplay segment of the video. This time around, the factory worker has a new trick up their sleeve. They got their hands on the tennis ball and plan to use it when they're in danger. All they would need to do is squeak the ball and Barkley would come running. Any enemies that were in the vicinity would get knocked over by Barkley running towards the ball. But the player couldn't do this every time. Due to the damage that Barkley sustained, he'd have a cooldown period after every time he runs. He would just need a moment to regain his energy and he'd be ready to run once again. So this new ability would definitely come in handy, especially if a character like Opal or the Elephant is blocking the player's path. So the player goes about their night and does all their tasks. They can rely on Barkley to help them out whenever he can. But the more they use this tennis ball ability, the longer it would take for Barkley to cool down. It would get to a point where they'd be waiting so long for it to recharge they wouldn't bother using it anymore for that night. So this would mean they would need to use this ability sparingly and only if they really needed it, because sticking to this strategy would ensure they get out of here in one piece. And with a friend like Barkley close by their side, that would be a real possibility. So I think that Barkley would be a great addition to our roster of characters. It's always a great change of pace to have a friendly character who isn't out to get you. I think that the tennis ball ability could definitely come in handy and get the player out of some tight situations. For now, they've found an ally in this terrible factory, but as to if the next character will be as friendly as Barkley, we'll just have to wait and see. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, do be sure to let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of Barkley and what you'd like to see going forward. Also be sure to keep commenting down all of your theories and what you think's going to happen in Secret of the Mimic. It's been awesome reading all of your theories, and I try to write back to them as much as I can, so be sure to comment and I'll get back to you. And lastly, just a big thank you for everyone who watched today's video and helped support it. Also a very big thank you to our GamerTube members who help support the channel as well. If you'd like to be a GamerTube member, then do be sure to click the link down below or the join button. You get some pretty cool perks and you also help support the channel as well. But as always, you don't need to be a GamerTube member to enjoy our content. It's only if you'd like to and if you're able to. But alrighty everyone, until our next FNAF character concept video, I'll catch you later. Bye.